It's a way in which to have people police themselves. Zoo theory? What's zoo theory? Oh, the aliens. Is that what they call it? I didn't know. If that's what it is, then yeah, basically some form of it. Yeah, Darwinism is nice and all, but I just don't see us coming into being in such short a space of time, and in particular with the explosion of brain growth. I think we needed to have had outside help, and whether that was because, if you look at it in a Stargate fashion, they were trying to fashion slaves for themselves, or they were simply trying to help us along our evolutionary path because, why not to have eventually
Funding
have another
received.
intelligent species amongst you as a peer, or what? But or something more malevolent. I don't know, but I do believe in that. No, no, I think I think aliens came to help. No, I can understand what I can understand that point of view as well. I just find it hard to believe that so much in the way of technology and the understanding of science and math was lost in such short a space of time. I mean, it's totally feasible. Don't get me wrong. You're right. It's totally feasible looking at the Dark Ages and the burning of places like the Library of Alexandria. If there was some, cataclysmic event, I can. It's totally feasible. I just don't think that's what happened. Because the whole evolution of humans from greater apes into what we are today happened a lot long before we even had ways in which to communicate and write. They would have needed to stepped in a lot earlier in the point of within the point of evolution to turn us towards this. And they just stuck around to help us along the way. Yeah, I mean, outside of being able to build those huge, almost monolithic structures, which we're still unable to explain today. Outside of that, and maybe certain types of metallurgy, there isn't really a lot of there isn't a lot of evidence. Sorry, there isn't really a lot of evidence of particularly advanced technologies which would help substantiate that. I get it. I get it. Information can be lost, civilizations die out, but where are all the advanced tools, possibly weapons, other types of technology? It, I don't get it. The London Hammer. No, what's the London Hammer? Excuse me, got hiccups. Oops. Oh, okay, I've had my dinner. Man-made tool encased in a 400 million-year-old rock. Okay, that's a new number. I'd heard I'd heard of Homo sapien skeletal, like fossil remains and certain artifacts being found in uh, layers of earth and rock that were like 1.5 million years old, but I hadn't heard of anything being found that far back. That's a new number for me. That's interesting. I mean, I'll Google this and then just leave the tab there, and I'll have a look at it later because I want to get on with playing the game a bit. London Hammer, out of place artifacts. The London Hammer. Yeah, that looks like a turn of the century hammer. You know, something that you'd expect to see in like the 1800s or even earlier. 400 million year old hammer. No, I hadn't heard of this. That's weird. And the I'm scrolling through some of the videos here. The oldest one goes back like 6 years. I hadn't heard about this in the last half a decade. I watch all kinds of interesting shit like this, and I'd never seen this before. Oh, it's that guy. Oh, what's his name? The German guy that wrote the book on the Ancient Aliens channel. I can't remember his name now. Well, how do you mean?